Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how to set up and keep your pre-order pipeline full when you're launching new products on Shopify. Pre-orders are a really great way to get your inventory covered, validate new products, and keep existing brands selling when you run out of inventory. But if you're just getting started or you've never taken pre-orders before, it can feel a little overwhelming. So in this video, I'm going to break down the process for how you can get set up to sell online and start to build consistent order volume in a few short months for new or existing products. For pre-orders to be effective on your own website, consumers will generally buy something no more than 8 weeks in advance of receiving it. Well, hang on, why would customers even want to pre-order something? Let's talk about the psychology of it first. People are willing to wait for something that they're really excited about that they can't get anywhere else. So the first question I want to get into here is, how do you know if people will pre-order your product? Let me ask you this. Is your product unique enough that they cannot get something similar on Amazon already? Let's take the case of you're bringing a supplement to market. Let's say it's a turmeric supplement. When I go to Amazon.com, I can see that there are dozens or hundreds of other turmeric supplements available. So what is it that makes your product so unique that someone is willing to order it now and wait 6 to 8 weeks to get that product? If there's nothing unique about it and they can get it on Amazon because it's a commodity, I don't think pre-orders is going to work for you. However, if you've got a product that is unique, distinct, and novel, then you are in the realm of people definitely wanting to wait for your product when it's communicated properly. So this brings me to step number 1 of how to build your pre-order pipeline. The very first thing we need to do before we start building any stores, marketing, is getting down to building a strong foundation. This is what we call building your oasis positioning. There's a term we like to use at Launch and Scale called building your oasis of influence. What we do is we help brands understand their distinct position in the marketplace so that you can be a top pick for customers in your space. Before you even launch your product, we need to get really clear on who your customer is and what is unique about your product and be able to communicate in that way that resonates very quickly to someone when they're wondering whether they should buy your product and wait or buy something equivalent online. When you do your oasis positioning right and you distinctify yourself, I'm making up words here, in the right way, then you have a unique product that is not available and they are willing to wait. But it all comes down to building your unique oasis positioning. So yeah, this is probably not the first video you've watched on launching products, but let's talk about why we need to get very clear from day 1. Customers have so many options in your space. Even if you are launching the next yoga mat that has some unique property about it, guarantee your customers may not understand truly what is unique about your product quickly. So if you just try to launch a product without doing your homework and getting very clear on communicating how your brand and products are different, you're just going to get lost in the noise and your pre-order campaign is going to flop. So in the rise of serious competition in your space, you need to do this homework first to give your brand a fighting chance of being strong out of the gate from day 1. Once you've nailed your oasis positioning, this brings us to the second point, which is launching your predictable sales engine. We are launching your website and we're starting to talk about your product online to get people to your website so they buy. We're starting to build your audience online. But what your predictable sales engine is the combination of the way that you advertise so this is your traffic to bring people to your website, and then you have your email list, also known as growing your audience of buyers when they're ready to purchase your product. So before we even turn on ads, we have to set you up for success by making sure that your website resonates and is set up for success right away so that when you start to have influencers talking about your product, when you do paid ads, when you have friends and family coming to your website, they understand what is unique about your product. So there's a couple of nuances in setting up your website for success with pre-orders that are slightly different from a general e-commerce brand. And I want to take you through that now. This is an example of a brand we work with in Australia. And just taking it to my screen here, we are in pre-order mode right now where we are delivering product in about 4 weeks after launching the website. So let me show you a few things that brands get wrong and don't see success with pre-orders. So when we go to the product page, let's just pick a product here. A big mistake I see brands making with pre-orders is they do not make it obviously clear that when they can expect to ship. Brands that don't see traction and have a big pre-order button on the website and they don't have shipping, customers will look at that and think, oh, I don't want to buy this right now because I don't actually know when I'm going to get it. They may love your product, but if they don't know when they're going to get it, so that is one thing you absolutely have to have on your website, is you need to make it clear when you're shipping. Second pro tip you want to have on your website with pre-orders is you want to have a good pre-order offer. Pre-orders are something that, because your customers are going to have to wait 4 to 8 weeks to get the product, why should they buy this now? Give them a reason to buy it. So there's a couple of things you can include. You can see on our homepage right now that we have a holiday offer where we say, hey, holiday launch, 20% off of your items by this date. You want to have some incentive for people to buy it during pre-order, a free gift with purchase for a limited time. But there's a couple of psychological triggers that we want to tap into. We need to think of, because if they go to a website where there's no offer, there's no discount, there's no free gift, there's no incentive for them to act now, and they have to wait 8 weeks for getting their product, they're just going to wait for 8 weeks until initial reviews come in, and they're not going to buy it now. So look at the offer that you have for your launch if you are in pre-orders, and even if you're not in pre-orders, if you're shipping right away, you want to have a launch promotion that gets people to act now. With this brand, we've built the Oasis positioning in place, and we've built their predictable sales engine so that we launched the website with very distinct positioning so that, let's be real, who doesn't want this product when they go to the website? But when we know that when we start to drive people to the website, that they are going to purchase. So that brings me to actually breaking down the factors in the predictable launch engine. So the first thing you want to have once your website is live is you want to have a traffic source, and this is how you are talking about your product. Common ways during pre-orders is you are going to be talking to friends and family about your product because I'm sure they're going to be your earliest supporters. You want to have paid ads behind this to get external traffic. And you also, assuming you have product, or line this up when you do have product, have influencer campaign going on. You want to have some UGC video created right away. So user generated content, that is a form of building social proof through videos where you pay content creators to create review style videos for you, or even using your testers as testimonials to build a video library of social proof so that when you do have people coming to your website through Google, Meta, friends and family, or referrals, they see that you've got a product that people love because you've built in the proof stack of your product is awesome. The way that Floatables does it here is actually really subtle because you can even just see with their background video here, you see a family having a lot of fun. That's another very subtle way to show hey, this product is awesome. The next thing you want to make sure that you have is you have a way to build your email list. One little nuance we see here is you see get 20% off. You see here that we have a way to get them to claim their 20% off by joining our email list. This is so important to have this from day one of building your brand and launching your website. Or if you're a brand right now, maybe you're not super focused on Shopify, but the money is in the list. This is how you're going to be able to build a community of people who like your product, who are engaged with it. And it, from a marketing standpoint, when you have 100 people come to your website, on average, only 2 of them are going to buy on that, at a time. And what that means is that you have 98 people who, if you don't have a way to retain them through contact information, they're going to leave and likely never come back. So that's a really great way to create what's called a leaky bucket. I talked to these two girls that were selling through TikTok, and they put so much into content marketing. They're posting a TikTok every single day, and they had cool products. But when it came time to auditing their website was not converting. They were getting like 10,000 people a month coming to your website and converting 0.2% of visitors, which is 10 times less than the number they need to actually have that be like an average performing website. And this is a concept called leaky bucket. So if you do not have a website that's optimized or a way to capture attention by like building that email list, or even having, not having the right messaging and not putting in that Oasis positioning, then all of your marketing efforts, all the money you're spending on ads, all the content you're putting out there, all the influencers you're sponsoring, they're all going to send a bunch of interest to your website. But if your website is not set up to perform like a virtual storefront needs to, all of that opportunity goes out the window. Sorry, I just hit the microphone for guys listening on the podcast. So when the whole premise of the predictable sales engine is building a robust machine so that you get very, very quickly a machine that allows you to put $1 in and get $3 out on revenue. And when you have a website that isn't working, when you have you don't have traffic, or you're just kind of spending money aimlessly without this plan and this fine oiled machine, it's a really great way to burn your cash. Ultimately, having a successful pre-launch campaign comes down to the right messaging, consistent traffic, and a way to optimize that so you can quickly see what works and what doesn't work. Very crude, but it's a scientific method in action. In the beginning, for a new product that has never been proven before, you know it's validated, but no marketer has successfully or profitably sold it, then what you're doing in the very beginning is you are throwing spaghetti at a wall to figure out what works, what doesn't, so that you can quickly optimize. Meaning, start to spend money on what does work and stop spending money on what doesn't work, to get you to a point within a few short weeks of your predictable sales engine being profitable and generating consistent order volume. That is the way forward, and everything you do starts by building a strong foundation with your Oasis of influence. If you're looking for more resources on this process, be sure to go to launchandscale.co or the resources on YouTube, and you can actually grab our $1 million blueprint that walks through step by step how to actually implement this into your business. This will work for you if you're just starting, and it's also going to work if you feel that your brand is broken on Shopify and needs a messaging facelift to start to be able to generate predictable traffic, revenue, and profit. Outside of that, thanks for listening if you're on the podcast, and be sure to subscribe if you are enjoying the content. All right, talk soon.